The gloves are coming off. We're about to go full court press. It's time to play ball. Listen in as we tackle everything in the world of sports right now. Throw your hat in the ring at 516-572-7440. Huddle up! This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Oh my goodness, are we back or what? It's time for WHPC Sports Talk from the legendary Majestic Studios at Garden City, New York, and WHPC. You are listening to WHPC Sports Talk. I am your host, Nick Orenberger, joined alongside me, Eric Fischetti.
Hi, Nicholas.
The wall, the window, and some other things.
Did the sweat drop down my...
Yeah, got it. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, nice. Well done. I'm glad that we saved it. Saved it for this show. Moving on.
This is where comedy gold happens.
Yeah, this is the best part of. We do a pretty good job, I feel like. But if we wanted to do a stand-up thing, you and I feel like we could.
That would take a lot of work, but that would also be kind of easy.
This takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot pressing buttons. Okay.
Maybe that's what you do.
We can talk for an hour.
I look at them first and then press them. That's a whole extra step.
Oof.
You're welcome.
You use your eyes.
I know.
Nice.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to join in the action, 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. We got And
Nick, you and I are actually pretty happy today in terms of two things.
Yes, we are. Yeah,
Your
please.
team won.
My team did.
And two of the teams that I hate most lost.
Which is great.
Yay, America wins.
And I'm assuming you're talking about the losses. Everybody, please calm down. You're talking about
Tip your waitress.
Tip your waitresses, please. You're talking about the losses of the Dallas Cowboys to the LA Rams.
Oh, yeah.
And you're talking about the Eagles. Nick Foles, St. Nick, finally meets his match, and his name is Drew Brees.
Now, let me ask you something. If you're Carson Wentz, aren't you a little bit happy that the Eagles didn't get past the Saints?
Honestly, I don't know if that matters yet, and we'll get into it a ton. I'll tell you why. And I've had time. You and I have a group chat with the former Beyond the Game people.
Of course, Dominic, Jacob, Brandon.
And we talk about a lot of possible trades, and yesterday an interesting one came up about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We know the dysfunction that's going on there, especially with Big Ben and Antonio Brown.
And it struck a chord with me in only the sense that I know it won't happen. The blowback would be insane. And if you don't think that PR relations, how they can relate the trade or the signing to the public matters, it definitely does.
And it's also something that we don't think about, too. There are people that work in teams' front offices that have burner accounts. We saw it with the Sixers, and we thought it was hysterical. But a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams look at social media, and they look at what fans want. Now, is that good? Sometimes. Is that bad? Sometimes, yes. Social media is a curse and a blessing at the same time. But that's where a lot of these burner accounts can tell, would this be a good trade if we just threw it out there to the ether? Would fans be against it? Would they be for it? That happens all the time in a lot of sports. And, we killed it when it happened with the Sixers because it was so ridiculous at the time. But let's just face facts. That's normal.
It is normal, and especially in this, I wouldn't say political landscape, but definitely in this new, I wouldn't say even new country, this new sports landscape where, I don't know, this identity of a player to where you play, it doesn't seem to exist anymore.
What do you mean? Like it doesn't define you? Like if you're
exactly, especially in the NBA. Go ahead.
What? So like if you're in Pittsburgh and you're a lineman, you're not like this big badass guy like Steel Curtain, like you're not part of that anymore.
Right. I don't feel like that exists nearly. It exists in college sports for the most part still, which is nice to see. Ohio State kids still hate Michigan kids. It's still a great rivalry.
Everybody in the SEC hates Alabama.
But I really haven't seen an NFL an NFL, not necessarily a fight, but just like too much drawing between the divisional. Yeah, you haven't seen that in so long.
And you know what's funny about that? There's a program that I watch all the time when it's on. It's called America's Game, and what it does, it goes through each Super Bowl champion, and they just give like the backstory of that season. Now, one of my favorites, it's kind of funny actually.
Okay.
One of my favorites is the 1968 New York Jets when they won. Well, 69 Jets actually.
69.
When they won the Super Bowl, it was the 68 season going into 69. But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Actually, no. I don't think the Super Bowl was played in February.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So you're right. It was 68. It was definitely 68. Matter of fact, I'm going to look that up while you complete your point. Go ahead.
This is funny stuff. But anyway, so one of my favorites was the story about the Super Bowl III champions, the New York Jets.
68. Go ahead.
It was 68, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just to clarify.
No, I lied. It's 69.
What?
I'm sorry.
Which one is it?
It's 69.
Okay, cool. Okay, 69. Favorite numbers. Knicks and Jets both won that year.
It was January 12th, 69. Go ahead.
Okay, so it works out. It was the 68 season, but they won in 69.
Yes.
Okay, so Don Maynard, who was a New York Giant first, actually, and fun fact, he was the first player to catch a overtime kickoff for the New York Giants.
Is that real?
Wow. Against the Baltimore Colts at Yankee Stadium, the Ice Bowl. And it's just a nice little history lesson. He used to come out and say, because if you remember the championship game, the division game leading up to the championship game was the Raiders and the Chiefs.
Right.
The Chiefs and the Raiders hated each other.
And that was a rivalry. Until recently, that was still it doesn't feel the same anymore.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Yeah, but also Don Maynard in that program was like, I hated them so much, I hope they play each other so hard they kill each other. That was the mentality of a lot of these players back then. There was just no love for the other player. Like the Raiders broke Joe Namath's face, and Namath said, I just bit into a hard steak, nothing. And which I love, by the way, because it's just how old-fashioned football used to be, and it's also funny because we'll never get to see that style of football ever again.
It just doesn't seem like it exists anymore. And more importantly...
It also seems like 10 years ago was such a different game. It really was.
It was. And people make it seem like, it's because we didn't have... it's because of the new rules, the game's not the same. That's not what it is. What it is there's more money in this game than has ever been invested. There's more money in these players. They're more concerned about their bodies and health. Sure, they're more concerned about their brand. It's not about the team. It's about how can I sell myself and make more money for me and my family. It's not about the team. It hasn't been that way in a very long time. And
you know what's funny about that? Unless you're a diehard, when people get injured, you're like for instance, when Landon Collins got hurt, Curtis Riley came like, who the hell is this guy? And you know what? I'm probably one of the bigger Giants fans but it's so weird because the NFL doesn't revolve around the players as much as the NBA does, but it still does. Does that make sense?
It does, but there are certain...
there are more Patriots fans than just Tom Brady fans.
Yes, I agree with that. No, not with Tom Brady. I think
Gronkowski?
Gronkowski. Okay, perfect example. That's a guy who is clearly famous. People love him.
Boy.
Yes, a party boy. But there are more Patriots fans than there are Gronkowski fans. There's not more Patriots fans than there are Brady fans. Brady is a brand now. Brady is bigger than life.
Tom Brady was one of my favorite quarterbacks growing up.
He's like Peyton Manning. He's pizza now.
He was one of my favorites.
He doesn't need the NFL. He's got Papa John.
Peyton was one of my favorites, too.
My dad hates the whole Manning family.
I don't blame him.
Starting with Archie, he was never a fan of Archie. Always thought he was smug. But he despised Peyton Manning. I think mostly because in his heart of hearts he knew how great Peyton Manning was. But he used to say, "This is the next Dan Marino. He'll never win a Super Bowl."
And Peyton Manning screwed the Jets twice. He stayed an extra year at Tennessee when the Jets had the #1 overall pick.
Yes, he did. And he stayed out.
And he stayed in school. And then when Peyton was a free agent, he didn't sign with the Jets.
It's
crazy.
I don't know the second one you could say he screwed him. I don't think he was intentionally trying to stick it to the Jets, but the first one, it feels like it.
Yeah, well,
So, there's a lot to get through. We're at the 5:10 mark right now, but if you want to call in, that was 10 minutes of us just bull you-know-whatting.
Rodeoing?
Yeah, bull radioing. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
We just invented a word here. Patent and trademark belongs to Nick Ornberger and Eric Fischetti at WHPC Sports.
Circle R.
Circle R. But it is 5:10. If you want to join the conversation, 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. We do got to dive into something very important. Eric has something to say.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I can read your mind. I'm pretty sure that you want to get into the New York Jets as they officially announced Adam Gase today.
So, yeah, I do. And before we get into the weekend recap, that's the most important thing we got to do today. Adam Gase, first of all, looks like a lunatic. Let's just get this.
Oh, he's a serial killer.
He
it's awesome.
stepped up to the podium, his eyes wide open. He looks like Adam Schiff, the Democrat in Congress, who is always on TV, and he's looking around like somebody just killed his dog.
He looks like The Mask.
He's terrifying to look at.
But that's just him. He was like that in Miami too. And
but
it's
I never
different.
noticed.
Yes, but it's different when he's wearing a hat all the time. He's also balding too, so that's why he wears the hat. But it's so different because the hat at least masks the size of the eyes. I never knew his eyes were that big. It's almost like Mike Singletary when he played. It's like, wow, those eyes are that big.
Yeah,
but
it's not. I don't want to go so far as to say he's an ugly person or he's creepy looking.
And if he wins, no one's going to care.
No one's going to care. But he did say some things that were kind of odd. You know what I mean? He gave the way forward answers, and some of them that were just complete lies. One of them in particular we'll play for you is a total lie. But let's start out with Adam Gase, right? Let's start out. Adam Gase,
the coach.
The coach steps up. He is introduced by Christopher Johnson, and this is his first question he had to field, I believe. What is your number one priority, Adam? What is your number one priority for this team? First thing you want to accomplish?
Putting a coaching staff together. That's where we have to start. We can't skip steps and start evaluating the roster before we even have coaches here. And that's really going to be our number one priority is getting coordinators and then working our way down after that.
I'm not mad at that.
Okay, go ahead, because I am, but go ahead.
I'm really not mad at that because he's technically right. They did clean house. Obviously, they're in talks to hire Greg Williams, the former coach of the former interim coach of the Cleveland Browns,
right,
and the former offensive coordinator, I believe. Or was it defense? It was defensive coordinator. It was defensive coordinator. My mistake, because Kitchens was the offensive coordinator who got the head coaching gig. But that's where you got to start. You got to fill out your coaching staff first because your coaching staff has to evaluate talent. And I'm not entirely mad about it. That's kind of like a weird way to start, but I'm not entirely mad at that. I think Gase is right in that sense, as in you have to get foundation together of hierarchy, and you got to get a foundation of basically authority. I'm not entirely mad at that.
I'll tell you why I am, but first we're joined by our co-host and nominee for MTV Movie Awards Best Kiss, Dan Morales.
Hi, how are you?
How's it going? You're welcome for that. Moving forward,
I did not expect that.
You're welcome.
That was very
what do you think of the Gase hire? I haven't spoken. Dan, it feels
years.
like I haven't spoken forever.
It's been a while since I've been here.
It's been a minute, B.
I miss it. I miss it a lot. I missed you guys last week. But
I missed you too.
I called in though.
Yeah, we were happy to have you on. What is your thoughts on the Adam Gase hire in general? Former coach of the Miami Dolphins, makes the move up to New York.
Yep.
Relatively unsuccessful down there. People keep on pointing to, he got the most out of Tannehill. And
which is kind of true, but it doesn't help.
It's true, but Tannehill's not good.
Tannehill's not good.
Yes, but that first year, especially with Tannehill, the Dolphins made the playoffs. But you know something else about that year? We saw Matt Moore a lot more, no pun intended, than Ryan Tannehill.
That is true.
I remember that playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers like it was yesterday. Matt Moore got lit up.
That was when he tried to pass and he got lit up by the safety.
Yeah, that's when he scrambled out of the pocket towards the right sideline and he got lit up. I think he forgot what year it was. But listen, I remember that very well. Tannehill has, whether you want to say that he hasn't been given a fair shot or not, or they haven't fully evaluated him or not, the fact of the matter is the man's always hurt. That should be the evaluation right there.
Which, by the way, is the knock on Carson Wentz right now. Why should we get rid of Nick Foles when Carson Wentz hasn't played enough for us to have hope that he can stay on the field?
But at least
that's part of your game.
At least with the limited time that we saw Carson Wentz and Ryan Tannehill in the same league together, I think Wentz is better than Tannehill.
I agree wholeheartedly. Carson Wentz is one of the most talented young quarterbacks, and I have a point on Carson Wentz that kind of backtracks what we were talking about in our our group chat, and we'll get to it a little later, on why Carson Wentz will absolutely not be traded. He's the quarterback moving forward. Nick Foles will be playing somewhere else next year. Having said that, I agree with you. I think it's an odd hire. I think it can work, but how many of these kind of out-of-the-blue hires that make you question the Jets actually work out?
I don't think.
They make these hires all the time that make you scratch their heads. It doesn't work out in New York, not for this franchise.
And also, very important to note, this isn't Woody Johnson making the hiring, who has been around. No. What I'm saying is, this isn't Woody Johnson making the hiring, who's been around the game a lot more. This is Chris Johnson, who really hasn't had this much experience. Same thing with Mike McCagnon. This is his first time, I think, picking a head coach. But, listen, this was a safe hire. This was not the hire that I expected. I full-on thought that they were going to go hard after Mike McCarthy.
So did I thought they were going to go after Mark McCarthy, too.
I think that was the right hire. It's a high-profile hire. You're going to be scrutinized for it moving forward. But the one thing you know about is he checks all the boxes.
Super Bowl win,
quarterback, head coaching experience, has groomed a quarterback into superstardom. What more do you need? Now, they checked a bunch of those boxes with Adam Gase. What they did really want, and what McCarthy didn't fit in that bill, was youth. And McCarthy is an older guy. He's almost. It's almost like they had this bit of Coughlinism that the Giants suffered from at the end of the Coughlin years. We don't want he's not 70, but you get the point. We don't want an older coach.
He's on the older side. I think he's over 50.
He's 57, if you don't mind. Will somebody look that up? I'm pretty sure McCarthy's about 57 years old.
When I heard Gase got hired, I was very surprised, actually, when I first saw it. Because I was really looking for... I thought they were going to really go for Mike McCarthy after the Todd Bowles extravaganza they just had.
Yeah.
And I thought...
It's 4 years of Todd Bowles is an extravaganza.
It's 4 years Todd Bowles is
Mike
bad.
McCarthy is 55.
It's 55, okay.
And I thought the Jets... I really wanted the Jets to go in the right direction. I don't like seeing a New York team being this bad for X amount of years. I want him to get a good coach to draft, to groom Sam Darnold to be the best quarterback he could be, and I don't think Adam Gase can do that. Even though there still is hope, but it's very minimal now, in my opinion, for Jets fans.
We'll have to see.
The thing that really gets me annoyed whenever people talk about Gase, this isn't necessarily a knock on him, but when he was in Denver and Peyton Manning was at the... Don't even mention Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was already Peyton Manning when he was in Denver. Yep. Did you get a lot out of him? Sure. But it's still Peyton Manning. I'm disregarding that. If you said Tim Tebow, that's a different story, honestly.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, Tim Tebow wasn't a quarterback, so go ahead.
But he was at the time. And don't get me wrong. I would have picked Peyton Manning over Tim Tebow anyway. I'm not denying that.
Of course you would.
Peyton Manning was better.
You have a brain.
No, well, okay, fine. But after Tim Tebow left Denver, he kind of flared out. But
went to the Mets.
Either way, fast forward to Chicago. Who was the quarterback in Chicago? Jay Cutler.
Oh my.
You got a lot out of Cutler, too. Then you fast forward to the first year in Miami. Ryan Tannehill. They made the playoffs. He gets hurt a lot, but he got a lot out of him numbers-wise. If you actually watch the Dolphins, it really wasn't that impressive, but numbers-wise, it looks better. And that's why Gase got hired, because that's the trend of new NFL coaches. They want to find the young offensive mind. They want to find the next McVay.
I get that.
Yeah, everyone's trying to find the next Sean McVay.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's no doubt. Listen, I think that, again, I think this can work.
I do too. I really
just don't see. And by the way, your point on Woody Johnson being around the game for so long, I'm sorry. Woody Johnson doesn't know a gosh darn thing about football.
Compared to him to his brother?
Yeah, compared to anybody.
Fine, fair enough.
What he knows is stars. That's why Brett Favre came here. All he wanted was all he wanted. That's why Rex Ryan came here. He wanted people who were personalities, who were good for New York. He did a great job in that.
But Rex kind of worked out. He was here longer than most coaches because
he was here for 5 years. And yes, I get 2 AFC championships.
And look at all the other the quarterbacks. Look at all the other coaches that were here. They were here for maybe a majority of 3 years, and Rex was here longer. Now, is that really saying much? No, not really.
Todd Bowles is there too long.
he got the most success out of all the coaches, even though that's not saying much. 2 AFC title games, 2 years in a row with Mark Sanchez.
You listen to us talk about the Adam Gase hire. If you missed it, he had his press conference today at 3:00.
Looked like a devil.
He looks like
a devil.
Yeah, he looks like Satan is currently possessing his body. By the way, it's 5:20. You're listening to WHPC Sports Talk. If you want to call in, join the action. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. Feel free. You can also tweet at us at WHPC Sports Talk, and please give us a follow. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Twitter?
Yes, we do.
Pay attention, man.
Pay attention to the world, darn it. My voice is going all sorts of ways right now, so let's just go back to the clip. This is Adam Gase. Somebody asked him, Adam, what is your role going to be in scouting, in the draft, in bringing in new talent? What is your job with the New York Jets?
I didn't even ask. I just knew coming in here, it was going to be a team effort to make sure that I do my part, which is coach the team, do everything I can to help bring in good players, and when my opinion was asked, give my opinion. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that kind of collaboration.
You didn't ask.
Right.
You didn't.
This sounds like a puppet thing.
All right.
You didn't ask.
I mean, you're coming to a team. You should know what they need in the draft.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's also kind of not fair because he coached within the division. So, of course, he's going to know. He saw him twice a year.
Yeah, they're going to know. And he also needs to know what the team needs when they have the third pick in this draft.
He did bring that up in the last clip we'll play, but I just want to stop there for a second.
He didn't ask.
You didn't ask what your role would be.
As a head coach.
As a head coach, obviously you coach the team.
Yeah,
we get that. Thank you very much for delivering that to us, Mr. Gase. We were unsure if that was a thing that you do.
We didn't know if coach was just a, kind of like a Mr., Mrs., or doctor kind of thing.
Are you an emperor in Japan in circa the 1940s? Like, you have no real power? No. It's a militaristic state? Like, what you didn't ask?
That's so odd. I still think this can work out in the Jets' favor. I really, truly do. But, this is just kind of like an odd start in my mind.
It's a weird start. It gets a little better. But this is just such a lie. And he brings up the point that we were just talking about. It does get a little better. He clears up some things, but he flat out lies to this question. Adam Gase, why the New York Jets?
The number one thing for me was a young quarterback. And I also think the knowledge of playing these guys over the last 3 years. And that was interesting for me to stay in division when you know your opponents right out the gate, and you've been on one of the other teams that you're not going to end up playing. To me, that was very intriguing. And like I said, I've worked with older quarterbacks, guys in the middle of their career, and I've never really had the opportunity to work with somebody that's fresh out of the draft, basically, and does have a year experience. And I was excited to get that kind of opportunity.
I'm going to explain to you why this is a lie. No one else would have given you a head coaching job. That's why the New York Jets. That's the answer. Well, they're the only ones who offered, so that's why I'm here.
Didn't he interview with other teams?
He sure did. That doesn't mean any of them actually offered him a head coaching job. I refuse to be under the delusion that any other organization was going to give Adam Gase, off of that year, off of that stint with the Miami Dolphins, a head coaching job in the NFL. No way. It was only the Jets. That's why you're here.
Because the Jets are desperate to need a head coach.
And I get it. He did interview. And chances are that those interviews probably would have turned into a job if it wasn't with the Jets. It would have probably turned into something like an offensive coordinating job or a quarterback's coach with the Cleveland Browns or with the Cincinnati Bengals or whoever the hell.
The Arizona Cardinals.
The Arizona Cardinals could use him. But, and I'm not saying he's a bad coach, mind you. I think he's actually probably a pretty good one. There's a reason.
Do you think he's underwhelming?
Listen, he's a guy who checks, like I said, he checks some of the boxes. But yes, I feel as a pretend Jets fan for this moment, I feel extraordinarily underwhelmed by this hire. And especially now after this press conference, I heard nothing. I listened to that whole conference. I heard nothing that made me enthused about the idea that Adam Gase would be my head coach if I was a fan of the Jets. Nothing.
Nope, nothing at all. Like, I don't think I'm sort of a Jets fan, kind of still, but
sort of counts.
Sort of counts, yeah. My family's Jets fan, and they were not that excited when they heard Adam Gase is going to be no coach. I'm like, Dad, Adam Gase no coach. He's like, oh, okay.
And this is why I can talk about this too. I'm sort of a Miami Dolphins fan, mainly due to my dad. But listen, I was a fan of Adam Gase when he got the head coaching job in Miami.
Okay.
Because at the time, Tannehill was still kind of a work in progress. Joe Philbin was okay, then he left, and then Gase is supposed... And you know what's funny about this? Gase was the hot hire at that time. Miami, this is a slam dunk for Miami. The Dolphins are going to be so good. Tannehill is going to... Well, okay, fine. Tannehill could be whatever...
Roll, right?
No, but like not even that. Tannehill could be whatever he wants. What is his worth if he's always hurt?
That's a really good question.
Ryan Tannehill can be Dan Marino. It's not going to help if he is hurt all the time. Dante Culpepper, when he was with the Dolphins, whose jersey I have, by the way, it's orange. Dante Culpepper, when he was with the Dolphins, wasn't the Dante Culpepper that he was with the Vikings.
No, he was not.
Because, honestly, he was a shell of his former self. That might be a bad example. But, it's just... Tannehill is still probably a work in progress, but he's also wasting my time as a Dolphins fan, if I am one, which I kind of am. He's wasting my time.
I don't think you're off base at all. I don't think you're off base.
I agree with you, Eric.
I think it's time. You've had, 6 years now of Ryan Tannehill?
I think so.
It's time for not just the Dolphins, the league to move on. It's time for Ryan Tannehill to move on
from football.
And listen, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I know that's a hard thing to ask of a player. This is your livelihood. It's probably all you know how to do. But yeah, I just think this is an odd situation where there's been so much trust, not just from the coaches who have coached him, okay, but so much Joe Philbin into Adam Gase. So much trust from the organization into him, and I get you.
And the Dolphins still don't have a head coach right now. They just hired Jim Caldwell, by the way, as a coordinator.
Did they? Is it done deal, or is it? Because I
think it's about to be.
Last I read, he was being considered. I don't know. I don't know if it's a done deal, but last thing I read. But please, let us know.
If anything, it's going to be close.
But I think that'd be a good hire. I like Jim Caldwell. I think he was a good coach.
Oh, wait, here we go. Former Lions head coach Jim Caldwell is expected to join Brian Flores' staff in a senior advisor role. This does not mean he won't be the offensive coordinator, but the Dolphins seem to be looking for a young OC.
Okay.
So that is the right. That's that's the route we're going. The key thing in what I just read, young. Youth.
Everybody wants a young guy. Everybody wants someone young. And you know what? It shows in the NFL because look at the head coaches left. I get McVay, I get Belichick and Andy Reid, but how did McVay, a 32-year-old guy, 33 or 32?
34, I think.
Yeah, 34 years old. How has he slipped into an NFC championship berth? How?
The Rams are good.
The Rams are really good,
and he's a really good coach.
And he's a very, very, very underrated. You know what? He's rated. We're not going to go underrated. I think he's officially like.
I think he's status quo.
I think you call him last year underrated, and this year was the year was like okay, Sean McVay he's the head coach.
Last year was underrated. This year, I think he's living up to the hype. Yeah. But he still got to win.
Yeah, he still got to win.
That's the thing.
He's still got to win. He's got time to do it, and he certainly has been playing with house money up to this point. But how did he get there? How did he make this huge trek? We'll find out after this. We're going to talk a little bit more about the NFL. I guess we could touch on Adam Gase if anybody calls up with an opinion.
One last point on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think they're the team that takes a flyer on Kyler Murray.
Oh, good God.
We'll talk about that when we come back.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's break that down first before we do the NFL weekend recap. Weekend recap coming up. We'll talk about Kyler Murray. We'll talk about a little Adam Gase. Anyone calls 516-572-7440. Give us a call. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us your dreams and your hopes, too. We're right here. Nick Warnberger, Eric Fischetti, Dan Morales. It's almost 5:30. You're listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Shake off the realities of the day, broaden your musical horizons, and embrace the diversity every Monday afternoon at 6 on Revelations. The show offers a potently unique collection of music with an emphasis on themes and rock rarities, an occasional tour de force of blues and soul, mixed with compelling sets of folk and folk rock. I'm Steve K, and I've got the perfect soundtrack for your drive home every Monday afternoon at 6 on Revelations, right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
You gotta keep them separated.
You gotta keep them separated. I said together. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
You're listening to WHPC. We suck. WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We are live once a week. Actually, we're live 4 times a week. But you're this show. Us personally. This constitution
I'm here Monday.
of this, I don't know if I'm saying this right, this show. But I'm Nick
This
Ornberg.
congregation. There we go.
It's perfect. What? I'm Nick Ornberg. You can follow me on Twitter at Nick Ornberger on Twitter and Instagram. Can't believe it wasn't taken. Eric Fischetti at Sergeant Fish on Twitter. Instagram, I always screw it up, so please.
Fish 5710.
And you can follow Daniel Morales at Daniel Molo _
You know who it is.
on Instagram, so please follow us. And also follow our Instagram and Twitter, WHPC Sports Talk. We'd very much appreciate it as we continue to try to get our social media up off the ground. And
So far, it's doing pretty good.
I think so, too. We're at 39 followers. You really did it.
Let's go.
Speaking of getting up off the ground, we're taking you
All the way up.
to the 6 o'clock hour where Steve K, you just
love
heard his
you.
promo. You're welcome. You just heard his promo. We'll take over with Revelations. Please stick around for that show. It's my drive home show. Actually, it's going to be my sit-in show. I got a bunch of stuff to do at the station today, so definitely stick around for that. You're going to love it. It's a great show. You brought up an interesting point, Eric, before this. You brought up Kyler Murray in connection to the Miami Dolphins, and it intrigues me. But here's something that Dan brought up that intrigues me more. Dan, what is the offer on the from the Oakland A's, having drafted Kyler Murray? What is the offer on the table for him to forgo college and the NFL draft to play baseball? What is that offer?
So there's a rule in the MLB for draft, people like coming out of the draft, that they're not allowed to have a major big contract, and the MLB is foregoing that. And they said that Kyler Murray asked the A's for $15 million for him not to go into the NFL draft.
Kind of like a bribe.
And basically, the A's have 72 hours until they make it's closed, so that Kyler Murray is now.
So this
in the
is
NFL
an
draft.
offer.
But just know this: Kyler Murray already declared for the NFL draft. That's basically to have his options open.
Yep.
Yes.
So the A's have time. So Kyler Murray is officially going into the NFL draft. Doesn't mean he's going to get drafted. The A's can swoop in and be like, "All right, we'll give you whatever you want," and he can ask for like whatever he wants, and he might go baseball.
So here's the thing: if he goes baseball, which, you know what, before we go there, let's start here. Should he play baseball or should he play in the NFL?
Dan, you go first.
I think you should play football.
Okay.
My reason being,
Give me a reason,
after the year that we just saw from him, the Heisman Trophy winning Kyler Murray, I think the way that he plays and the way he looks in college is the way that football is changing into as the NFL. So I like him playing football, but if he wants to stay safe and make his money, he should go play baseball. But in my opinion, I'd rather watch Kyler Murray play football than baseball.
Does his height bother you?
Does his height bother me?
For football?
No, there's Russell Wilson, whose height is small too.
I think he should go.
And I really like Russell Wilson.
And you can make the case for Drew Brees too.
Yep.
He's 6'1".
Yeah,
of course. He's 6
and
foot nothing.
And Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
And Baker Mayfield.
I think that he should go football as well. If he wants to think of this as a money situation, baseball doesn't really market its players very well. However, I think if Kyler Murray decides to go baseball, I think not only the A's will get a lot of marketing, but so will finally the players that we don't normally get to see in prime time, i.e. like a Mike Trout. But that's the problem. If you want to go for the entire money situation, football does a better job of not only marketing their teams, but marketing the players. Football is overtaking baseball as a national pastime because a lot more people care about football than baseball, unless you're me. I like baseball better than football, but in terms of the money situation, not even just safe or unsafe, if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm going football.
Here's the thing. I understand, and I understand the point behind it. The thing that scares me about football is there is absolutely no guaranteed money. You're guaranteed what they guarantee in your rookie contract, and then beyond that, you're guaranteed what you're negotiated with for. And that's it. That's what you're guaranteed. In baseball, that money, that $15 million for a 21-year-old kid,
No, finish it.
Sorry, go ahead. You raised your hand when Nick. I was like, what?
I have a question for you.
Are they taking me?
No.
For that kind of money, a kid at his age, that's money that you just can't walk away from. You can't
walk
do
away
it.
from it.
So for me, if they actually, if it comes down and they say, we're waiving this, we want to give you $15 million, please please come to the Oakland A's. I just don't see how you don't do it.
Yeah, if he gets that deal, I would go to the baseball. But as a fan, what would you rather see him play, football or baseball?
As a fan, I think I'd rather see him play football. But as an advocate for players and player safety and for guys making what they're worth,
yeah,
I want him to go baseball. It's the strongest players union in the world.
Why can't you do both, like Bo Jackson?
It could. I mean, it'd probably be a little difficult.
Or Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I said that.
But we do have a caller on the line on WHPC Sports Talk. Caller, identify yourself.
I'm a delivery guy. I got a case of stomach butterflies for Nick.
And trust me,
I'm talking about me.
No, for me.
For you. You're cool as ice, bro. The greatest feeling in the world, and again, it's only because I'm old, is, the Yankees win this, when the Yankees are in it, game to game, you get the butterflies. You got to wait a week, which is, pretty good but pretty bad.
Well, I'll tell you what. Hold on. Let me move. Let me get this off. There we go. I got the jersey on. I got the Chiefs jersey on. I just put it on. I took off the sweatshirt. Now you can see it. Now you can see what I'm rocking.
This is Eric Berry, right?
It's an Eric Berry shirt. My Patrick Mahomes jersey's in the mail. Yes, I finally invested.
Is it the home or the away?
It's their home jersey. It's this one, but it's a little different now.
It's the red one.
Yeah. So it looks good. It has the gold lining around the white numbers and.
Nick, are you working this Sunday?
I am working this Sunday, which is fine.
No, I was just going to bring up that whoever comes in is going to order a martini, 2 olives. Okay, Bud Light, no problem.
No, but I'm not going to pay attention. Yeah, what can I get for you? I don't care. I'm watching the game. Leave me alone.
Guinness.
We don't even have Guinness.
That's ridiculous.
It's a pizza place. And
what?
I'm not saying they necessarily shouldn't have Guinness, but they don't have it there. That's Anthony's Coal-Fire on Farmingdale 110. If you want to join me on Sunday to watch this game and possibly cry, you can do that. I'll be there all day.
Could you imagine if Gase had a brain in his head and he says, what do the Jets need? And when you think about this, it's multi-layered. If he said, I need Brady to retire, that would be an homage to Brady. Well, you could also bring Belichick into that, but he would actually have the room at that point, wouldn't he?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but that's so conflicting now. Oh, well, Brady just got to retire. Then what are you doing here?
What are you doing? Right? Yeah. Exactly. What are you doing here? What do you do here?
I'm just saying he's got to win the crowd over with a one-liner. And again, just next question.
Go ahead.
I'll let Trump. No. I'm just saying you have to go to.
Oh no, for him. Sorry, I thought you were changing.
No problem.
No, yeah. I think. What did you think of Dave? What did you think of the overall arch of the? Wasn't this an odd press conference?
I was in the car. I was going to King Cullen, which is soon to be Stop and Shop. They got taken over. I just don't waste my time with the mind candy. I mean, again, I get the daily news. I'll get Mater's skewed view of it tomorrow. So, and again, it's a long season. It's just, and again, it's all about. Again, as I said to you many times, and I keep saying again, is assembling the staff, and you have to have a reliable staff. And again,
and he mentioned it. Yep.
Yeah, special teams is important, but again, you got to have a gun. This guy's on the Giants. Nobody knows that are the greatest gunners in the world because they do their job. Well, they take 2 guys out when they go down.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like I said, the little stuff. It's amazing with replay. They would have run it just once, like the same thing 15 times in a row. We're a Gase, pardon the pun. We're a Gase. We don't take our eyes off that. And it's like, all right, fine, just go to a commercial and then come back and let us know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't know how I feel about that. To be perfectly honest with you, it's I don't know. I don't really got anything for you on that.
For once you're at a loss for words?
I'm at a loss for words.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen to me ever.
It doesn't happen often.
Maybe it's just because I don't really have an opinion on it one way or the other, I guess.
We're talking to young guys who would rather have a concert with a small football game in the middle.
What? That's not true. Come on. And listen, nobody hates the Super Bowl halftime show more than I do.
Are you for real?
With all those fake people that they hire to stand around a stage pretending to celebrate. Yeah, it's awesome. Real cool, man.
Oh, wow.
I hate that stuff.
Hey, look, if that was me when Tom Petty was playing with the Giants and the Patriots, I would have been all in.
Like, Dave, I'm with you, by the way. If I had my... If I had my way of it, there would be no commercials during sports sports game.
Yeah.
None of them.
But
None of them at all.
But the Super Bowl
they're doing cool stuff now where they'll have like the vision of the field still going on.
And the live commercial,
yeah.
too.
So
that's cool.
Some of the commercials are funny during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they're not as funny as what they used to be.
They used to be so funny.
But like, just think about it. There's such a filter now because people get so offended by everything. Yeah. It's so different now.
It's so different. Dave and I go back a ways. I go back to 30 years of the Super Bowls. Dave, you could probably go back a little further, but my point
31
is,
years.
You and I both have seen the good Super Bowl commercials. The new ones suck, right? It's not me, right?
You stink. I'll wait for the compilation at the end of the week.
Yeah, exactly, and I'll put it together. We're doing a greatest hits on that after the Super Bowl. That's one of our segments
of all time, or just this year.
We're going to do this year's, and then we're going to do the best of all time. I'm going to put together a segment, the ones that play best on radio, obviously, but I'm going to put those together. We'll put all of them up on social media if we can get around to it.
And I'll let you go. The greatest thing you could do at halftime during the game.
What's that?
If you got a nice crowd, go into the backyard and say, "What's that smell?"
Wow.
Oh, my God.
This man's hilarious.
Dave from Franklin Square dropping a bomb, apparently. Thank you.
Oh, my God, a Dave bomb.
That was a Dave bomb. You've heard of wash bombs. This is a Dave bomb. Thank you very much for that.
Wait. I was referring to a dive bomb.
No.
Or a Dave bomb.
No, that's a Dave bomb.
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
Stop.
Okay, never mind indeed. Dave, great job on that one. We appreciate that one. Dave from Franklin Square.
I love Dave.
Look, we got a ton to get through. So let's waste no more time. Let's get into what we always do. It's time for the NFL Weekend Recap. NFL Weekend Recap. It's the NFL Weekend Recap. And we got a ton to get through. Obviously, we're doing all four playoff games that took place this week, and cumulated. What is the word, Derek? Accumulated. Whatever. Who cares? Into our Rams Saints for the NFC, Patriots at the Chiefs at Arrowhead for the AFC. So let's start by breaking them down the way we always do. Dan Morales, take us away.
All right. So for the first game of the week, Nick's favorite.
That's right.
You got the Chiefs destroyed Andrew Luck and the Colts offensive line, 31-13. Nick, you want to? Nick, this is all yours.
All right. Listen, first of all, it wasn't all about Patrick Mahomes, obviously. He didn't even have that wonderful a game. No touchdowns, 278 yards, 27 for 41 completion. I get it. He ran for a touchdown. But you know what? Tyreek Hill had a wonderful game. I thought he's fast as all heck. He commands so much attention. Damian Williams out of nowhere. And look, since obviously the whole Kareem Hunt thing, he has obviously been given a huge role on this team. But man, oh man, 129 yards. He averaged the game 5.2 yards per carry. Big time touchdown. You also had Darrell Williams with a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, one of his own. This was a great game all the way around. And what shined? Will somebody please tell me what shined more than anything in this game?
What would that be?
The defense!
I was going to say that. I said on Friday that I had a feeling that they were going to have a complete game together, and I was right. Nick, trust your defense a little bit more. I don't blame you that you don't, but still do it.
And now, go ahead.
I completely agree. I have not seen the Chiefs play a full, complete game on all three aspects of football.
Do that again, please.
Their defense actually played very well, and I was like, wow, the Chiefs defense actually looks like a problem.
And now you have a real big time. He had a big coming out party in I guess that would be the 2016-2017 season. Got hurt last year, has come back this year, had a wonderful season this year. Showed up in this game. D Ford, we have a pass rusher. D Ford can get the job done for us. He can put pressure. Can he put enough on Tom Brady for a full 4 quarters? I don't know.
As long as you rush Tom Brady, he's going to make mistakes.
Typically speaking, you want to rush Tom Brady from
up, Giants did
right up in the A gap, nose tackle, get pressure up the middle. Those are the teams that typically have success. That's why the Rams are such a poor matchup for the Patriots, because of dealing with Aaron Donald. And that's not just Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. I was just so enthused by this game. I'm thrilled. Moving forward, I know it's early to look to the offseason. I've been thinking about the Dallas Cowboys, who we'll get to next, but they can't pay all these guys. They got to pay Dak. They got to pay Zeke. They got to pay Cooper. You'd look like a fool if you let Cooper walk after you just gave up
and for nothing.
Guess who might be available?
Who's that?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
I don't know.
I would love for the Chiefs to double down and get Lawrence in here.
That would be a really good get. And I was thinking about this too. What about
right there?
Oh yeah.
What about Jadeveon Clowney?
I don't know, because he's going to command a tremendous contract.
Yeah.
I think the Houston Texans won't let him go, though. He means so much to them, and I think J.J. Watt's past his prime. They understand that, and they need to set up their defense for the years to come, especially with probably another head coach after this year, because Bill O'Brien has no idea what he's doing.
You want to call the Giants about Olivier Vernon or Janoris Jenkins?
Not at all, because they both suck.
They don't suck. Olivier Vernon is a Pro Bowler. That's
Olivier
not
Vernon,
saying much, because he was terrible this year. But still, Olivier Vernon's a Pro Bowler, I guess. But, yeah, go ahead.
Dan, what else we got?
All right, so the next game we got, the Rams beat the Cowboys 30-22. Oh, I really like that game a lot, because Jared Goff looked really good.
I'm a very happy man.
You should be. I mean, everybody feels good for him, by the way.
How about them Cowboys? All right, you lost. Go home.
Yeah. By the way, did you hear what happened with the post-game interview?
No, what happened?
On the field with Jared Goff?
I honestly fell asleep, so I didn't see what happened.
Akeem Talib coming in.
Incredible what they did today. I mean, we know this defense, and we prepared for it well all week. And what Todd and CJ did this week.
Take somebody's soul.
Akeem
Talib, excuse the language, he's a little excited there.
Yeah, he's right, though. He's right. But,
he's right, man.
He's right. You got to bleep that one out, but yeah, he's right.
Sorry about the language. Oh my God, it's not like we don't know. I mean, come on.
I don't even remember who the announcer was, but he turns and goes, "Oh, right, I don't think we could use those words."
He's like, he seems a little excited there.
Yeah,
idiot, read
great.
a book.
One of the things in that game that really stood out to me was C.J. Anderson.
Yeah,
for the Los Angeles Rams. 23 carries, 123 yards, and 2 touchdowns. After being cut by the Panthers, cut by I think 2 different teams this year.
the Broncos,
The Broncos, too, yeah. Cut by two other different teams this year. He really showed up and proved that he could still play in the NFL at a very high level.
Guys, I got to ask you, what do we attribute to the LA Rams' success? Is it just McVay?
We got into this. How did we get here with McVay? I just feel like he walked into a situation with a quarterback who was obviously failing. We all had
with Fisher, yeah.
I would say we were writing Jared Goff off. I don't know if I completely believed in that. But
is he better than Wentz?
Right now,
yes.
I don't see how you can.
How can you say he's not?
The talent level. I think the talent levels are similar, but what makes Jared Goff stand out is he plays the games.
He's also winning. I think Wentz is more athletic than Jared Goff.
Probably,
so,
yeah.
But Jared Goff is winning football games.
And Jared Goff's a more efficient passer from the pocket. Wentz scrambles a lot. He gets out of the pocket. He makes it work.
And he's healthy.
Wentz is more comparable to Patrick Mahomes than he is to Jared Goff, I feel like.
That's interesting.
But having said that, Sean McVay on the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about our team. I think we just know our players better, our coaches. We've got better continuity. I think there's a better understanding of how we as a coaching staff can put our players in spots to maximize their abilities. And then it's just about us doing a great job this week with our practice, with our planning, and then hopefully that leads to the good performance. But like anything else, I think we've done a good job of learning from our experiences, both good and bad, and that's what's allowed us to feel like we've improved, but we know it's going to be a great challenge.
This man always looks like he's out past his bedtime.
Absolutely.
I'm not even kidding. This man has such a young face, but my God, people want to have this man. People want to have the closest resemblance in coaching style to this man. Keep in mind, McVay hasn't won anything yet. He's been a consistent playoff team both years that he's been here, and the Rams just look like they keep getting better. I don't get it. Obviously, McVay's a good coach right now, but that's it. He's just good right now. Until he wins, then we can pinpoint him as, yup, that's a great coach right there.
By the way, we never got to it because I'm just such a dope.
Yeah.
I didn't play it at the time. Well, thank you for agreeing, I guess. But I always want to get that soundbite from Mahomes. Only the intro for maybe 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the running game was doing great.
Okay, that's all I needed. I just needed to hear. You made the best comparison in his voice. I've been saying Kermit the Frog. What does he sound like?
I don't remember.
Bobcat.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah.
It's pretty
good. It was a pretty good game.
I heard it, my friend. The football. I threw him too hard.
By the way, I made a compilation of noises that Mahomes makes. It's short, but it's cute.
Okay, now everybody close your eyes and play that again. How scary is that?
Like if you're laying in bed next, like you're his significant other. You're laying in bed next to him.
I don't want to think
roll
about
over
this.
for a kiss on the forehead and to know that everything's all right, and you hear this.
Oh my God. Because that's the one thing I don't want to be thinking about right now, and put that in my mind. Why?
Right? I mean, but could you?
No,
I don't want to imagine that.
Hey, listen.
Let me put
listen. You wish Cam Newton can do that.
Hey, hold on. You're in a situation you can't escape. It's life or death situation, and this guy's leading. Who do you want leading you more than Patrick Mahomes? This guy's saying, "Guys, I got this," or rather, you're trying to get him. He's like, "Patrick, what do we do?" And this is his answer.
It's like, do you got this?
Dan, what's next?
All right.
I love this show so much. If you don't love this show, reevaluate yourself. Nick is probably one of the better hosts that we have here at 90.3 WHPC.
Love Nick
I
Ortenberger.
try and model my show after Nick, and it is difficult because no one can be you. I'm serious.
On Thursday, I try to yell like Nick, and it doesn't work out well. My music show doesn't work out well.
I appreciate you.
I try to yell like Nick at the beginning.
I'm getting a lot of praise here that I don't deserve. Dan, what's
all right, come on, next. The New England Patriots and Tom Brady have sunned the Chargers by kissing their playoff hopes goodbye, beating them 41-28. All right, so Tom Brady has gone to the fountain of youth and realized that he can play football better than he has his whole regular season.
What do you think TB12 is?
It's insane.
It's drugs.
It's insane.
Listen,
it's like a miracle drug. Honestly, this man takes very, very good care of himself.
Very.
Tom Brady is the most hated player in this league because of how successful he is. But the majority of his success is him taking care of himself. This man takes a beating a lot. And you know what? He's also over 40 years old.
Yeah.
And you would think his time could be running out. I don't see it. Who do you think lasts longer, Brady or Breeze? I think it's Brady.
I think it's Brady. I mean, we said, I think our answers both were, you want me to be realistic, right? I think Breeze. And I said I thought Breeze was going to retire. I've maintained that. I continue to maintain that after this season. I think Drew Brees retires. But right now,
Tom Brady is
just based on what I see, the breakdown between each player, which is minimal at best, I just feel like Tom Brady can do this for a long time. He's been talking about playing till he's 50.
Can I ask you a better question?
Can do it.
So he'll surpass Brett Favre, basically?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a better question? Who lasts longer in the AFC East, Adam Gase or Tom Brady?
Oh, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Really?
Tom Brady. Yeah.
Tom Brady.
It was that easy?
Yeah.
Listen, if this...
I'm sorry.
You don't understand how I feel about this. If this season isn't a winning season, I think Gase is gone with McCagnon.
Really?
I think that's why they brought him in. He's an easy scapegoat for McCagnon. They can swipe at the deck clean right after, and then you're in the market for McCarthy again if you really wanted him. It just makes a lot of sense. I just think that McCagnon has another year, and you're not bringing in another GM and not giving him a choice on a coach. Yep. And now McCagnon doesn't have the excuse, well, I never got to pick a coach. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Here he is. So make it work, or you're out. This has to be the year McCagnon's done, or he proves himself.
What's a realistic number for Jets wins this coming season?
Realistic?
Yes.
I think Jets fans should be happy with 6 wins.
5-6, yeah.
With 6?
5-6.
I think Jets fans should be happy.
I want to see who they draft.
Wins.
They need to draft a defensive player, in my opinion.
You know what?
And I'm saying realistic. You said realistic. Jets fans shouldn't be happy with anything less. You've waited too long. You shouldn't be happy with anything less than a winning season.
What keeps Gase here? 9 wins?
9-7.
9-7.
9-7.
What about 8-8? Nope.
On the fringe.
That's on fringe. Anything below 500, he's gone.
Now you're talking about McCagnon staying another year. Fringe. I say 9-7 guarantees him, and that's it. That's it. You haven't had a winning season since 2000. What, 11?
11.
Yeah.
11, 12.
I mean, come on. The wait's been long enough. The wait's been long enough. Jets fans, you've waited long enough. What's our next? Actually, no, before we go, before we move on to our final game, somebody I just want to give props to. I love Anthony Lynn as a coach. I love him as a coach.
Yeah.
Listen what he said in this press conference. I thought it spoke volume about him as a coach and his relationship to his players.
One game doesn't define who we are in our football season for sure. And those men, they fought hard all year. And there were some difficult situations and fought back and won. And today we just couldn't get that done. But like I said, I like the way they came out and competed in the second half.
And you know what? He doesn't stray away from the idea like, hey, we lost this game. we weren't good enough to win. It's on him as the head coach, obviously, but I just like his mentality. I like him as a head coach. I hate saying that because he's a Charger, but
I feel bad for Antonio Gates.
I feel bad for Phillip Rivers.
I don't like Phillip Rivers, so I don't care.
You don't like him?
No. I think he's a wonderful guy.
No, I don't like Phillip Rivers.
Well, anyway, what's our next game?
All right, next game, in one of my favorite games of the week to watch was the New Orleans Saints 20 unanswered points against the Philadelphia Eagles, beating them 20-14 on Alshon Jeffrey's missed catch in the last final seconds.
Yeah.
Intercepted by Marshawn Lattimore.
Alshon Jeffrey, I got the best hands in the league. Really?
Really?
I didn't know that.
Do you?
Really?
Because you just cost your team. That could have. People say, "Oh, Nick Foles, the magic's over." The magic happened. Alshon Jeffrey took that magic and wiped his butt with it.
I saw out of 35 attempts to throw at Alshon Jeffrey in the playoffs, he only missed one catch, and that happened last night.
That's unbelievable, and unfortunately...
Eric, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If Nick Foles leaves the Eagles, would you like him going to the New York Giants?
That depends. Is he going to start, or is he going to back up and just wait for Eli Manning to leave?
Let's say he's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, let's say
so is Manning.
Let's say
he's younger.
Let's say Eli Manning is done.
Okay.
Would you want Nick Foles as your starter next year?
Here's the thing. I like Nick Foles. I just have this gut feeling that when he left Philadelphia the first time, obviously he was younger, but he stunk it up. I'm afraid of that because as a Giant fan, I haven't seen the playoff. Well, actually, no, it's actually been relatively recent, but it didn't feel like it because they got smoked by the Packers.
Yes, they
the
did.
first year of Ben McAdoo. Realistically, though, I haven't seen a playoff run since the last Super Bowl.
Yep.
So obviously, that's a great problem to have. Last Super Bowl, but I want to see this team win, and if your best chance to win is with Nick Foles, it's a hard pill to swallow to move on from Eli Manning. I'm going to hate it. I'm really going to hate it. And when that day happens, I'm not even kidding. I'm going to cry. I am man enough to tell you that. I cried when Jeter retired. I'm going to cry when Eli Manning leaves.
I'm cry when Cam Newton retires. Don't worry.
You got time.
I know.
What do you mean?
I said I will, though.
And who knows? Maybe he might not finish it with the Panthers. Who knows?
I know.
But listen, when that day comes, when Eli Manning's career is done, I think that most people will look at him as a Hall of Famer, but there's also going to be a ton of people that don't think so, like Nick. But I think
No. Don't twist my words.
You don't see him as a Hall of Famer.
You said won't get to the Hall of Fame. That people don't think he'll get to the Hall of Fame like Nick. That's not true. I think he will
get to the Hall of Fame.
I don't believe he should.
Okay, then my mistake.
All right? And he's going to get everything he wants. Eli Manning's going to get everything he wants out of this.
It happened since 2004.
He's going to get...
You get nothing.
No, he gets everything. He's going to get everything he wants. He's going to get a parade. He's going to get a day. He's going to get into the circle.
He's going to get his number retired.
The circle of fire, whatever they call it.
etc.
He's going to get all of that.
The Ring of Honor, dummy.
I don't care.
Good day, sir.
Now, here's the point.
Yeah, that's what people are going to say to Eli Manning, the haters of Eli Manning.
Good
now,
day,
let me
sir.
just say this. I think Eli Manning has been a shell of his former self. Do I still think the Giants can win with him? Yes, but not a Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
Not a Super Bowl.
I think they need a better offensive line if Eli Manning wants to stay there.
The offensive line was pretty good in the second half. I bring back Jamon Brown. I bring back Spencer Poley if I'm the Giants.
I agree.
Because he looked better when he had time. He's never really trusted an offensive line.
That's very true.
He's never really trusted one. So when you give him a line that he can trust, I think he can play better.
Because he was taking a lot of hits last year. And him just being how old he is, that's not good for an older person.
Scared.
I'm scared.
One wrong hit,
and he's gone.
And obviously, he's been very, healthy throughout his entire career as a Giant. But it only takes one. It only takes one wrong move. It only takes a snap of an ankle to say, you know what, I'm done. And to be honest with you, would I rather have Nick Foles or Kyle Lauletta back him up? That's easy. It's Nick Foles. But would I rather Nick Foles or Eli Manning start? It's going to be a hard pill to swallow, but if Nick Foles can give you the best chance to win, I'm going Foles.
And how about in the Giants draft this year? Where do you think they should get? Where do you think they should go?
Quarterback.
What quarterback? So Kyler Murray, Dwayne Haskins. If Kyler Murray does enter the NFL draft, which one are you taking?
Haskins.
You've doubled down this much on Eli Manning, and you're gonna back out now. You don't take a quarterback. Not in this draft. I'm sorry. None of these quarterbacks, to me, translate nearly as well as the quarterbacks from the former draft from last year.
I think
next
year's draft is going to be a lot better.
I think so too. You're going to have Tua in that draft.
You have Tua, you have Fromm.
Yep. So I just think it makes more sense to wait the year.
Okay, listen. I know this has come back to bite me sometimes, or it will eventually.
It's going to.
I've been on record saying that the Giants should pick a quarterback, but that was before Justin Herbert backed out. He was the guy that the Giants were looking at. He was the guy that I wanted personally. Now, I've been on record saying that the Giants should pick a quarterback. But if they don't, depending on who they pick, I like the kid from LSU. I like White a lot. But depending on which route they go, if it's not a quarterback, depending on the position of need, which is a lot, like secondary and linebacker and defensive help in general.
How about offensive line? Or do you think it's too early to pick off?
I like Jonah Williams. I like Jonah Williams from Alabama.
There's no like Quentin Nelson in this draft.
No, there really isn't. There
isn't like a big guy like that. Quentin Nelson was
There's not a Mike McGlinchey either who was a good number 2.
In his tank top in the cold.
Oh, Quentin Nelson is a monster.
A monster.
Luck loves him.
We're about out of time here. It's been so much fun, guys. Hasn't it been fun? It's been fun.
A lot of fun.
It's time for the 2-minute drill. It's time to get ourselves out of here because Steve K's right behind me getting set up to bring you revelations. So, Eric, what do you got?
Nick, this is kind of going to you.
Oh, boy.
I will be a Kansas City Chiefs fan for the rest of the playoffs. I'm all in.
Thank you.
Chiefs Kingdom.
Yes, Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Let's go. Dan.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you guys. Yes. I'm going to be a Chiefs fan, even because I do not want the Patriots to win again. Tom Brady's been running my life for my whole life. He's been drafted when I was born, and then he's been there the whole time.
And you know who ruins their, basically shot themselves in the foot? The New York Jets. They're the guys that injured Drew Bledsoe.
Yep,
whoops.
That's them.
New York has spoken. This room has spoken, and I will back it up one more time. The Chiefs need to do the world a favor and put Tom Brady,
the legend
on
versus the phenom,
back into his patio in his $1 billion mansion. Let him go do that for another couple weeks while the Chiefs win a Super Bowl. Okay, let's do that. Can we please do that? What do you think?
You can try.
Thank you so much for joining us. This has been WHPC Sports Talk, and I'm Nick Ornberger with Eric Fischetti and Daniel Morales.
Yep.
And I think I speak for everybody when I say, oh, wow! What a great broadcast. But it's time to say, see ya! Because we are, and don't worry, but even though we'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Be sure to tip your waitress. I'm Nick Ornberger signing off with the boys on WHPC Sports Talk 90.3 WHPC.